peace, love and light. Yeah. Barber TV fire every time. It's your brother Sankofa. I'm out here at the National uh, Museum for African American Artists. The National Museum for African American Artists. We have an event going down here today. There's gonna be a lot of festivities, food, music, entertainment mix. Just a lot for the community, for the people, for the culture, and that brings me to the person that I have right over here to my left, which is a good friend of mine, goes long back. Me and his history goes back. We go back, like way back. Like car seats and cornrows on a pimp named Lucky Leroy. No, I'm talking. No, but we go way back. Got a lot of history. You know what I'm saying? Family ties and all that. And my big bro right here. Yeah. Who I'm honored to say is a very important figure and pillar in the community right here in Boston as well. You know what I'm saying? But he's been contributing a lot to the community, to the culture, is production, music production. You know what I mean? Rocking with some of the biggest names that come out of Boston, has a history of hip hop in its roots, in its embryonic years when hip hop was just embryonic in its embryonic stage, right here in the city of Boston as a battle DJ artist, as a DJ artist. I mean, you name it, he was doing it, hip hop, all of that. So this is my man. So right now to this day, very influential, very respected, very creative, highly requested producer, his work right here, my man Gunzy. So I want to just introduce him to the people right here.
What's up, everybody?
You know what I'm saying? Go into a little bit about, your what you're doing, any of the latest endeavors you're working on. We know your roots is deep.
Yeah.
You went back. You was actually, let me go back a little bit. My man was actually featured in a Source.
Yeah.
At a time, many years ago, a publication that, for those who may not know, did start right here in Boston, Massachusetts, specifically in Cambridge, with Dave Mays as a one-page newsletter, and then evolved into a 2-3 page, and then came into what was called the Bible of hip hop at the time, and it was also co-owned by another Bostonian, a native Bostonian, Boston-bred soldier by the name of Ray Benzino. You know what I'm saying? Who co-owned the Source. My man was actually featured in the Source magazine at a time, so we know that you, for his production and local talent and things like that in the city of Boston. Am I correct?
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago, but we know you've been consistent since then to now.
Yeah.
Right now, for the people, what are you working on? What are some of the major things you are endeavoring in right now?
Peace, Boston. Well, the latest thing I've been, we just put something together. I got a bunch of old school legends. We got them out of retirement. The great mind of Yamin the Bean, his cousin Big Boss and Spotted D came up with this good idea to get these guys out of retirement and get them on this track. Got my man Big Chuck, Zeno.
So explain to the people who Zeno is, because we're not
Benzino. Yeah. Ray Benzino, original old school RSO, the old school group like that. So he's on there. Antonio Saldi, Tony Rome, MC Spice. You got
legends.
Legends. Yeah. The Big Suge, MC Knox. You got Edo G, his boy Greg on there. My man D the Weeder, of course, Yamin the Bean, Spider D. Corby, them dudes representing.
Hey, well, let me ask you a question real quick. Not to cut you off. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of heavy hitters. And shout out to all those people on the track, Hell Up in Boston, right?
Yeah.
Powerful track, great. How long is that track? That's a lot of people you name. How long is that track?
Actually, it's like 7 minutes and 39. Yeah, 7 minutes 39 seconds, something like that. Or 30. Because it's got those many people, so it's gonna be a little longer than a normal song. So yeah, obviously, yeah. So that's why it's a little lengthy on that. But man, you can want to listen to it over and over. It doesn't lose your interest. Real good song, so you gotta check it out.
Where can the people check that? Is the videos? Are y'all still in production of that? Is it packaged and ready to be put on the air for the people? Can they check it out on Spotify? Could they check it out on YouTube? Is it up yet? That's what I'm
Well, not the video haven't been done yet, so we were trying to get that together. The track on YouTube, Instagram.
Spotify?
Not Spotify yet. Okay. So I keep you guys updated on that.
It'll make it there.
Yeah.
So that's dope, man. So what about some of the other tracks? That's what your latest endeavor is. I know you've been doing it for years. You spent a lot of money. I mean, a whole lot of money into that equipment over the years. I remember we was roommates way back in the shoot, the late 90s.
90s, yeah.
The mid-late 90s, right?
Yeah.
We were roommates. You had the equipment then. My man was diligent, always putting a lot of money into the equipment. I mean, and you have to invest in your craft and invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you can produce greater things. And my man was definitely always consistently committed to that, man. You know what I'm saying? Musical genius, man. I want to ask you like this, because everything has a root in the beginning and a source, right?
Yeah.
What was your inspiration? We know you came up in a time when hip hop was early. That's when you were in your teen years, and you was inspired by that. What inspired you to become more of a producer than an MC per se? And what would you, what, or was you an MC at one point?
I was with an old group called the Black Militants, but beyond that, what got my interest in music growing up in the 70s, everything, you know, our parents had records, and the old record player, when you hear that, or you hear stuff on the radio, you just, you know, you feel that, you get that energy, you just feel music, you start mimicking it, singing things like that. It gets you want to have interest like in music. So that's why I got it from. I used to get my father's old house system, and you know, like you only got the speaker system and everything. I used to just debo it and use it as my own thing. He never messed with me. I just started putting together little mixtapes and all that, and just I got a group together called the Hill Boys. I even started Little Nick rapping. She was my sister's homegirl. Growing up when she was little, I was like, "Yo, Nick, come on, do a rap." I'm cutting it up, and she started rapping. She just took it from there. Yeah. Shout out to Little Nick.
Yeah. Boston rapper, just
yeah. Well, Hill Boys, we were doing stuff. We were battling all the old school stuff. We used to battle Benzino with them. Just a lot of groups at Shea Booths, at Ripley Road Park. It was just all love, man. You know, all over Boston was doing stuff, man. House parties, major house parties. It was well known, the Hill Boys, man. I was the DJ, and my man Ty B. We had Gunzy, Tom G. We were the first one really started 4 turntable mix. And they can't forget my man, R.I.P. rest his soul, my man Babyface Face Nelson Jamie. You know, he passed on, but he was like our manager of the group, And my brother, he was always around, but he's a basketball coach for the kids. He's doing a lot in the community too, so we can't forget about him also.
Shout out to Pumpkin.
Shout out to my bro Pumpkin. Yeah. Coach Pumpkin, yeah. And my man Sankofa boy, he was always with me in the mix. Yeah, and always knowing, always in the mix and always knowing. Street conscious, everything.
Yeah, always. And a lot of people don't know me just except from YouTube. You don't never see them.
Yeah.
Outside from behind the computer, some people. And some people that stick with works for them that way. I'm not saying that don't mean they're in the streets or not, but you just don't know who they know, or are they really connected in the streets like those who claim that they are. Now me, I don't glorify a lifestyle that I don't live, or you know what I'm saying, or a lifestyle where the activities in it is counter revolutionary as far as what my consciousness is right now. So I only say that to say this, but I do have my roots and a past in the streets. A lot of people say a lot of that, but there's nobody to vouch for them. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody knows them. They're not in the streets. They're behind the computer. Now, that's what I like about Baba TV. We come out here on the ground, and we, to my town, to other towns. You've seen us on a lot of different installments here on Baba TV, where we get around from Times Square to Eden Wall projects in the Bronx, to Washington, D.C. at the Million Man March 20th anniversary. We've been through Boston a few times, different housing projects here. I like to get around is my whole point. And in getting around is because I'm not afraid of people. I like to interact with the people. This is where the reality is. The people that we're talking about and having a message for is out here in these same streets. So I like to come out here in these streets, main streets of Boston, Roxbury, you know. That's where we at right now. And, you know, but my man right here, he knows, and I have a past that was, you know, somewhat checkered and littered with a lot of street shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, hey, even since way back, even my fitness stuff, tell him, bro. Like, tell him how I used to be when we was roommates.
My partner was roommates. I was working overtime, go to get up in the morning. He's doing push-ups. I come back, he's still doing push-ups every day.
That's what I used to do.
I used to do sit-ups. I was like, yo, you're gonna fall on a fire escape, nothing underneath. He's doing pull-ups.
Fire escape.
all day.
Now that was just my roots as
Yeah,
being a soldier young.
yeah.
Militancy wasn't just something the way I talked. It was the way I thought, the
Yeah.
way I spoke,
Yep.
the way I lived, my workout technique, my
Yeah,
habits,
definitely
even when I was dibbling and dabbling and still growing up and coming into maturity. So I was still a knucklehead, still endeavoring with certain street activities and illicit things that I definitely knew better than at that time. But see, my brother was around for a lot of that. When I was on the run from the law for 6 years. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
He was the one that held me down a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I had a lot of drama and was walking around with them big things on me, you know what I'm saying? That had, boom, my brother held me down. My brother held me. This is the past, so it ain't reckless talk. I used to be able to stash my stuff. And my man held me down. He was there for me through a lot of times when it was a dark period in my life. When I was going through a lot of legal situations and it was in dibbling and dabbling into a lot of street shit. You know what I mean? Even though I was conscious for the level I was aware of then, which is a student of the school of thought from the Hebrew Israelite perspective, you know what I'm saying? Was always very militant. That was something that I always was. I didn't get that as a Hebrew Israelite. I had that before then even. That continued as one, and it's just part of who I am. It isn't in my spirit right now. So, it's just a beautiful synergy because this brother, when I was a Hebrew Israelite, he started endeavoring into the teachings then. He was studying the teachings then. I'm going to introduce to him because he was a bona fide Christian. Me and him used to debate in the corner store in Mattapan on Walk Hill Street way back in the early 90s.
He started showing me something that opened my eyes to more bigger things. So I could go check this out.
So when you believe in the Bible already, from the Hebrew Israelite perspective of the Bible, I don't lean on that as a book of absolute truth, although I do see the value of truth value in it when you understand it from a higher and more enlightened perspective than its literality, and you can understand it for the other things. I don't deal with it on that level right now, but when I did believe in that book, and people who come from the church believe in that book, I believed at that time the Hebrew Israelite had a more revolutionary and more broader perspective than just the average Christian church did. Him being a person who was a proponent of church and Bible studies, kind of already believed in the Bible, so therefore it was easy for him to make a transition and his ideas about the Bible from a Christian to a Hebrew Israelite, since we was under the Bible paradigm at that time anyway. And as I started studying other broader scopes of knowledge, he was like, damn, what you on now? And I had to explain to you, man, listen, my eyes been opened up. Remember, I brought a lot of Hebrew Israelites into the fold. A lot of them. A lot of the people who was on the corner when we was in jail, and I used to be having my things writing to the brothers in jail, getting information and stuff sent up. I had a squad, I had like 7 or 8 brothers who was in jail upstate in Concord. Remember Stan? You met a lot of these people. It's not just a story. They came out, and on the streets we would connect. And they was a part of the camps right here in Boston. My brother was around with all of that back in the days. Damn near 30 years ago.
I was in the camps too, out on the street with them.
This is almost like 30 years ago. So me and my brother been through all that. He's always been consistent with the music. I've always been consistent with the militancy. No matter what stage or evolution we've been or went through, we've always been connected. We just got a deep history and friendship that's always been solid, man, over the years, man. That's why this is my brother. And now as I'm studying broader scopes, he was like, damn, what's up now? The Bible from the Hebrew perspective ain't true no more? I'm just saying we got to broaden our scope, brother. That was my approach. And I started to introduce him into a lot more knowledge and got more African-centered and really got into a higher level of insight, understanding, and enlightenment, right? And you know what I'm saying? He's his own man. As he started to research it for, because it was hard for him to kind of switch from being used to studying all the Hebraic knowledge. But as he opened his mind with a filter, always have an open mind with a filter, what he seen allowed
the phone.
There you go. Allowed him to also broaden his scope. Because at first he wasn't always on the same, wavelength as me either. But as he started to understand, get information and be imbued with the information from his own level of understanding, he manifested and internalized it in his way that he made his own transition out of that. And here it is, we still looking strong, you know what I'm saying, looking dope, looking woke, you know what I'm saying, staying dangerous in all our glory right now, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to introduce you to the people, because you are definitely a person who's been a good friend, confidant, and soldier in my corner for as far back as I can remember. From when I broke my foot in your backyard when I was only 5 years old, when his brother Pumpkin jumped on something and fell on my foot. I was in the kindergarten pictures in K2 when I think it was like 1980. I was on the picture. I got a picture of me in a photo album where I got a cast on my foot. You know what I'm saying? That even happened in his family's backyard. So we go back like that. So I definitely wanted to introduce you to the people, one of my biggest supporters, You know what I'm saying? One of my best friends and one of the most talented and creative people I know, you know what I'm saying, in the hip-hop generation. Tell them how they can get in touch with you if they're looking for studio time or if they just want to, you know, get some beats made. You know what I'm saying? How they can get in contact with you. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
My email is gunzyg@gmail.com. My number is 857-869-7896. Contact me. Gunzy, Gunslow Production. Bring your ideas to life and make it sound really sweet. With some heavy bass to knock your eardrums out.
Hey, so we about to get busy here at this festivities. All right, we're gonna take you around Beantown. So until there, continue to hold it down. Peace, love, and light. Salute.